Welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'll be showing you how to make red velvet brownies with cream cheese frosting. The full recipe with measurements is written in the description box of this video. Start by melting the dark chocolate over a bain-marie. Add in the salted butter along with the dark chocolate. You now want to melt both these ingredients together. It will take a couple of minutes and just make sure that you keep the heat on a low, otherwise you don't want to burn the chocolate. After a few minutes, keep stirring the chocolate and check there are no lumps of butter left. If there are any, just break them down with the back of the spoon. Once the chocolate is smooth and glossy, turn off the heat and leave the chocolate to cool down. In a separate bowl, add in the 3 eggs, caster sugar, soft light brown sugar. Beat all the ingredients together until the eggs have doubled in size. As you can see, the mixture is quite brown at this point. However, after a minute of beating, the mixture should become a lot more lighter. Continue to beat the mixture until it's a lot more creamy. You'll know the mixture is done when it holds for a few seconds like this. Check that your chocolate mixture has cooled down and add into the eggs. Fold the chocolate and eggs in really well, making sure not to beat out the air. When folding, make sure to scrape the bottom of the bowl as the chocolate tends to settle in the middle. When the mixture is a consistent brown colour, you'll know that the eggs and chocolate have mixed in really well. You now want to add in the buttermilk and some red food colouring. It's better to use a gel or a paste for this. Mix in the milk and food colouring in really well. It's better to add the food colouring in small amounts at a time, as you can control the colour more better. At this point, check the colour of your batter and add in more food colouring if needed. Most red velvet brownie recipes don't include dark chocolate. However, if you don't have chocolate in, it's not really a brownie. If you prefer to have a vivid red colour, omit the dark chocolate from this recipe as it does darken the batter. Next, add in plain flour, cocoa powder, baking powder, bicarbonate of soda, lemon juice. Mix all the dry ingredients really well until you have no lumps left. Make sure to do a folding motion rather than beating, as you don't want to knock the air out. You should have a smooth and glossy mixture when it's fully mixed. You can now add in any extra chocolate chips if you want to. I've coated them with flour to avoid them from sinking. Mix these in really well. Transfer the batter into a lined 22cm tray. You can use a different size, but it will affect the height of the brownies. Spread the batter out evenly across the tray, making sure that you fill in all 4 corners and don't leave a big amount of batter in the middle. Bake for 30 minutes in a preheated oven at gas mark 4. Once cooked, remove from the oven and leave to cool down. To avoid the brownie from cracking, make sure to leave and set it in the tin. Don't try taking it out at this point. Meanwhile, prepare the cream cheese frosting by placing softened butter into a bowl and beating it until it is smooth and light. Now add in the soft cream cheese and combine in with the butter. Do not overbeat at this point as you will be beating the mixture again. Add in half the icing sugar and with a wooden spatula mix in really well. I prefer to do this at this point rather than using the electric mixer as it stops the icing sugar from flying everywhere. Next, add in the remaining icing sugar and again with a wooden spoon beat in really well. Once the icing sugar has been folded in, you can now use the electric mixer and beat until the mixture is pale and creamy. As you beat the mixture, it will increase in volume and will become a lot more whiter. This frosting is always quite soft, but when it's done, it should hold like this. Leave the frosting to set in the fridge while you cut the brownies. You can now take the brownie out from the tin. Check that the brownie has cooled down and using a heart-shaped cutter, cut out the brownies. Using your whole palm over the cutter, quickly press down to cut the brownie, otherwise you will get cracks in the top. Repeat this whole process until you have around 12 heart pieces. Depending on the size of the cutter you've used, you might get more or less pieces. After you've cut out as many heart pieces as you can use any extra brownie pieces for cakesicles, and you can also crumb some up and use it as a topping. I managed to get around 12 heart pieces using a medium-sized cutter. You can make them smaller than this if you would like. You now want to add a layer of cream cheese frosting. You can use a spoon, however I prefer using a piping bag as you get more control over the edges. You don't have to be perfect as you will be smoothing this out. You now want to use the back of a spoon and smooth out the frosting. I'm now adding some leftover brownie crumbs. I'm also adding a mixture of milk and white chocolate chips. For a bit of colour, I am now adding some freeze-dried raspberries. If you don't have these, you can just use some pink or red coloured sprinkles. There are a lot of ways that you can decorate these brownies. You can even create a two-tone frosting by halving the frosting mixture and adding red food colouring into one half. If you like this recipe, make sure to like, comment and subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me over on my official Instagram page, Foodatives. The link is in the description box below.